On today's episode of the Trans Teacher Chronicles, it was brought to my attention that last week a request was put in by a student to guidance to not call me Mrs. Taylor. Instead, they want to call me Teacher Taylor. Now, to some of y'all probably thinking like, well, what difference does it make? Well, here's the reason behind the request. Apparently, it is against their religion to call me Mrs.
Look, this video perfectly captures how insane the situation in schools has become. A student asked this teacher to call him Teacher Taylor instead of Mrs. Taylor because their religion says they cannot call a man Mrs.
Even though I present as female, all my legal documents say female.
Trans activists constantly say that sex and gender are different. They say, don't you know the difference between sex and gender? So if sex and gender are different, why are legal documents suddenly saying female? If sex and gender are different, your sex is still male, sir.
So now the issue is being escalated up to human resources.
And instead of respecting the student's religious freedom, the teacher runs to HR to force the student to say it anyway.
To figure out if they're going to grant this request, to figure out if I have any protections.
Let's be clear about something. The Constitution protects students too. The government cannot force someone to say words they believe are false. That's called compelled speech. And the Supreme Court ruled on this decades ago in West Virginia versus Barnett. It said no official, high or petty, can prescribe what shall be orthodox, meaning the state cannot force people to say things they do not believe. Not even teachers, not even schools, not even for gender ideology.
The world is crazy, and the education field is crazy.
Okay, sir, these are kids. Children should never be put in the position of choosing between their religious belief and obeying an adult authority figure.
But I just want to let any trans teachers out there know that we will not be silenced.
Sir, the irony of calling this being silenced is unbelievable. Nobody is stopping this person from living however they want. But students are not required to participate in someone else's identity performance. Freedom of speech means you can believe whatever you want about yourself. It does not mean you get to force children to say it too.
We will not be killed off or executed from the education world.
Did you catch that leap? A student asked for a religious accommodation, and suddenly it's trans people are being executed. That's not reality. That is the tactic. Turn a disagreement about speech into a fantasy about being killed off. No one is threatening this teacher. The only issue here is whether students can be forced to say words they do not believe.
I can guarantee you I will still be called Mrs. Taylor. Probably by the end of all of this.
Well, I can guarantee you this insanity isn't going to last. You may win this battle and even get your school district to ignore the Constitution for now, but in the long run, truth has a way of reasserting itself, and you will not be called Mrs. Taylor. Bye-bye.